Okay, today we're going to be assembling a Type 1 nightstand. Your nightstand will come packaged up. You'll see a pile of different components in here. It's going to come with a written instruction manual. This particular one has two sides. We'll set that aside. It's going to come with a tube of glue, which you can use to make it more secure. The glue is not necessary, but it will make your connections tighter if you're going to assemble it one time and leave it in a permanent way. Set that aside. It's going to come with 4 of these little shelf pegs. I'm going to set those aside. We'll need those later. And then you're going to see a variety of pieces here. They're all labeled A, B, C, D, etc. So you'll want to have a good surface to set these out on. I'm going to start with finding the piece that has the 4 plastic connectors, 2 on each side. We sell 4 different locking mechanisms, so your piece may or may not have this exact lock here, but if there is a locking mechanism, it will be, this is eventually going to be at the top on the inside of the unit. Okay? So I'm going to set this front aside here. The next 2 pieces I'm looking for, in this case, are labeled C and D. You're going to see there's a rail that's going to be on the top of the unit as well. So we're going to go ahead and set these beside. So I now have these 3 pieces that I'm working with. You can see on the piece labeled C here that we have these plastic receptacles on the sides, 2 of them, and you can see also on the side of this piece that we have C labeled as well on here. These are going to match up. So we're going to glue this together. What we'll want to do is find the inside of the unit. We're going to go ahead and lay a seam of glue all the way down here so that that will mate up nicely. Now that we've got the glue applied, what I'm going to do is lay the side with the ridges here on the table. I'm going to go ahead and line up the plastic connectors so that they are going into those holes, and I'm just going to make a little tap on the top here. You'll hear that click in. I've just got a cloth nearby here that I can wipe up any excess glue that was along the edges there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and repeat the process on this side. Okay. In this case, I'll just go ahead and flip this up. Take my ridges end. I'm going to line up the little plastic on both sides so that it sits nicely in that little groove, and I'm just going to tap it and that will secure it into place. Again, just take the cloth, wipe down here. Okay, I'm now going to flip this onto its back. So you can see I've got my rails on the top here and my lock. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take one of our shelf units. In this case, both of these are labeled E. We have one is exactly the same as the other shelf, also labeled the same. Top and bottom are the same. Doesn't matter which one you drop this into. I'm going to drop this into the ridge. It should slide smoothly in. We're going to take the second shelf. We're going to slide that into the ridge. It needs to line up on both sides. It should slide smoothly and drop in there. Again, we can lay glue along any of these surfaces in order to make that work. Now I'm going to take this. You can see that it is labeled A and B. The connectors are going to be on the inside of the furniture, and this is going to be the face that you're going to see from the front. Okay? On this unit, you can see that A and B are labeled on the surface that we're going to do. We'll take a seam of glue, thin line of glue, lay it all the way down on the inside of this connector. We'll go ahead and repeat that process on the other side. Again, just a nice little thin seam all the way down. Set the glue aside. these legs, the little H at the bottom, correspond with this. I'm going to lay it to where it's going to be flush with the edge here, flush with the edge here. You can do one at a time. Go ahead and make sure that that connector is mated up nicely here as well. A little bang. That should pop in cleanly. Go ahead and do that. Okay, so we spin it around. Go ahead and line up the connectors. You'll see the little gap, this little tap, and that should pop in nicely. Go ahead and take your rag, clean up any excess glue here. All right. Okay, the 4 included shelf pegs are here. I'll take one and show you. You have a flat side, which is going to hold the shelf, cylindrical side, which will go into the hole on the furniture, and then you have the curved side that will go down. I'm going to count up 4 holes. There are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different holes in here. You want to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4 that all your pegs are in the same hole, or you'll have a slanted shelf. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flat side up, just push it all the way in as far as it'll go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide that guy in there. Just push it in there where it's nice and snug. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and grabbed my last shelf. It's labeled G because it is different than the other 2 that we put in. That's the side that's going to go against the back of the furniture. The finished edge is the one we want to show to people. So this is not going to fit in straight, okay? So you're going to need to take it, go diagonally. We're going to get inside. Once it clears the edge, lift it up as high as you can so that it's above the 4th peg, and then we'll just gently rest that down. If it's in securely, all 4 corners should be, and this should be flat. Okay, now I've grabbed the sliding top. You can see this is the finished top. Here's the finished front. This is the unfinished edge that's going to go against the back. Depending on what type of lock unit you have, this center section may look different. The rails will be the same, as well as these little black clips. This is what we're going to engage with its partner up here on these rails. You want to make sure the rails are pushed in all the way. All we're going to do is take this and flip it. We're going to bring it straight on. There's a little black set of rails, and you're going to make sure that the H portion of this metal is nested in the black plastic H that's pointed up. And then you're going to push it in. It's going to be a little rough until it clicks. Then we'll go back. It's going to be a little bit hard the first time you do it, but then when you pull back on it, now it should be smooth. And you've finished your assembly.